Hi, I'm Berdine Nickens, and it's good to be back again. Glad you can join me. Today, I want to talk about situations that we get into and we don't really realize what happened, you know, chaotic kind of situations that seems so impossible to figure out. Have you have you ever gotten into that type of situation where you say, "Oh, this is horrible. I really don't know what I'm going to do. How did this happen? How did I do this? And that thing that seems overwhelming. That just kind of almost like look like creeped up on you. There's a situation where there's a certain person, a well-known fella, who was trying to do some developmental with houses, some development situations, where to create land, not land because, but create some, generate some finances, some money, some revenues for to have others invest in it, and like stock, and anyone, most people know who I'm referring to. But the media is so complicated when it comes to my stuff and different situations, so I'm gonna get into that. But so that's the reason why I'm really trying to call names and stuff like I have done in the past. But most people know who the name is ringing in me right now. Usually I forget the name, but there's another realtor who has said some things about what he has done, like the investment in a particular property has gone pretty badly, and there was like, millions of dollars involved in it, and it has dwindled down to a very low figure. But my whole point is that in our life, as we're doing things or trying to get in someplace, get to a good place, there will be some counteraction sometime. In that particular case of that real estate element, there were some probably some forces that were not foreseen, like the pandemic and stuff like that. And and that's a whole big one by itself. This is a complicated situation that I'm speaking on, so it seems that I'm deviating from my main topic about how from a horrible place to a good place. Okay, so whenever you are doing things in life, whatever those things are, whomever you may be, always sometimes it doesn't always go as smoothly as expected go. You understand? So, and this is going to seem like I'm getting off my point, but I am not. Just bear with me, and I promise you probably get something really wonderful out of this message, more so than any other message I've given you. Okay, because this came to me. It came to me in a dream. In the dream, somehow I kind of got stuck in a car with a lady and a man. And the lady was, she was thick, and these are foundational Black American individuals that I'm speaking of. Not to down my tribe, my people, and anything like that at all. Never, ever. But anyway, anyways, the man was, and whatever happened is, however I got in there, I realized I got in there. It's about it because the dream didn't show me that part. So I'm just, they're taking me someplace, evidently someplace I need to go or want to get to. And the girl is more like, she's a big, thick, pretty, dark lady, and it was like her attitude was more like, just dump her off anywhere, just put her out, don't even be bothered with this, let's go on and tend to what we have to tend to, this was kind of like her. And I'm looking over, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm in their car. I don't even know them. But it was more like, he was like, hey, We don't need to be bothered with this in the car here. This, whoever this is, this was me. Excuse me, but you know I am when I get tickled. And almost anything tickled me. uh, so as they were driving along, uh, uh, it was like he was like, "This is, that's not how this should go. I picked this lady up, so let's take her to, a good, decent location where she will be safe, or wherever it is she's trying to go. We're gonna get her as near there as we can, in a proper fashion, okay?" So finally, we arrived someplace. I don't remember. It was pretty chaotic in the thing there. And the lady goes on in the house there, and she's, I guess she's like, we've got her here. This is a good destination. This place, just let that young woman go on. And leave that alone. So somehow, the situation was like, no, I need to take her. This is not exactly a proper place for her, so I need to take her further. And then that ended up with something like the mother, and these all had a kind of something brown or something, a brown hat or something like that, so you could kind of identify them, maybe a brown skirt too or something. So, not all of them, but that family did. That particular family had an identifying mark about them, behavior or dress, should I say. And so the mother went into some kind of fit about blah blah blah. I don't even know what she was talking about. It sounded crazy too, but it was like, okay, I was gonna be held up, and then looked like there was a cousin or two over there that had their little brown hats on and skirts or brown pants or whatever it is, that had some little ball games and different things, kind of stuff going on. It was very chaotic, you understand? And so I decided that, look, these people got so much going on with their stuff and everything, and like that. Let me just try to walk on wherever it is I was going. The dream didn't reveal to me what it was I was trying to do or where I was trying to go. And I probably wouldn't have, because, like I say, this message is about being in finding chaotic situations. You really know how you got there, and you don't really know where you're going, and you don't really know how to figure it out. Okay. And so then when I found myself walking in a direction where there was like up in a hill, like sort of, but not hill, but kind of some flat land like, but some kids were standing up on there, looked like they may have been doing some athletic stuff, and they was waving to me not to come across there because there was a little ditch to get across, across with no problem with the little ditch thing. But when I had to come back, I realized that nothing was over there where they were, so that wasn't exactly where I was probably trying to go. So I came back and I kind of jumped up over the ditch little thing, like, and there was no problem with that, but I was still kind of stuck in an area. Then all of a sudden, the land kind of shaped itself where I was really up. So it must have been a type of a magical situation or something, these dreams and dreams and movies and things. I'm stuck up at a a real high place. And so I'm like, okay, I can't get down from here. So in the background, down on the ground, I see where some people were working a situation out. They knew I was in some kind of trouble, and they was working as a team, a group to try to help get me, from my place back down. Okay, because it was real high. You couldn't jump out getting into some later trouble. Okay, but to cut this story short, they used this tall, dark fellow, handsome, beautiful fellow, tall like thin man. What is it called, it, rubber man. Tall. I mean, it's so tall because I was in a place that was probably over 2 high, maybe more. Way more. It made, I wouldn't say quite a mile high, but it may have been about a half a mile high or whatever. It was really extremely high. I was in a bad situation, didn't know where I was, and didn't even know how to get down there because there was no place to climb. It was like flat land and stuff, flat hills or whatever it was. And so he comes and stands up real tall, like I said. And so when I went to get on his shoulder or try to get off, I was acting kind of weird, like the way you just pull. It's like, you don't worry. I'm a gentleman. I work this out. I'm going to be helping you, and you don't have to be in fear. You don't have to be frightened. My God, there was a peace that came over me. Like, okay, so I don't have to wring his neck off or to try to get peacefully done because I'm so afraid. Because I've gotten myself in such a bad situation. I don't have to work onto his body, just like if you were drowning and you got onto somebody's body and you just hold it and just nearly finish drowning them, because that happens too, because that's a bad situation also. But now to get back to the message, the real message about this. After I woke up, it came to me very clearly that no matter what your situation is, no matter how chaotic it is, no matter how bad it is, there is someone who really cares. That is the creator. That is the ultimate powerful energy. That is Jesus. That is called by many wonderful names by people all over the world who see the creator in different fashions, okay? But what happened is that whenever we get ourselves in a really, really, really bad situation and we don't know how to get out of it, then when often people call Jesus or you call on your divinity, and you have your faith and you trust in yourself too, you have confidence in yourself and that you can work this situation out. There is a way. There's always a hope. There's always a strength. There is always a power because there is a divinity, a greatness in chaos, because even the Bible tells you that the world was void and dark and everything, and out of the Creator came, out of it came good things. And so I want to let you know that whenever those situations are the more complicated and more chaotic it is, the more out of order it is, then we can still and trust the Almighty, trust the Creator, trust God, trust the Lord to bring you to a good place because He's worthy and He cares, and He's not going to act with that primitive nature that we tend to behave in, when we're in the fear mode. He never has to fear. He's a creator. So if you've been in a situation where first thing is learn to relax and breathe easy as though you are doing your favorite thing, because that's what really helps. No matter how horrible that situation is, for yourself, the worse you move in a notion, behavior, that situation does not seem to settle itself. You know that. And from your past experiences. So the thing is to realize where you are, realize, in your mental state or your, feeling state, and adjust it. When we say that we know what we were doing, we knew but we didn't know, because we may know what we were doing, but we didn't know what that doing was going to develop into. So this is what it means in the Bible when it says that Jesus said, forgive them, they know not what they were doing. It was like, they knew what they were doing, but they didn't know what they was producing in their doing, okay? So that's what happens in life. Sometimes we know what we're doing, but we're creating when we don't know what's going to be the final end, the developmental stage of it, the developmental result of it, you understand? So because one little thing, we have this saying that, it's like a snowball, it rolls down the whole or a hill, a little ball of snow, and it just keep picking up snow, keep picking it up until the ball get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so this is what happens in our situations sometimes. Get ourselves in a situation we really don't know how to figure it out, okay? And then we start doing frantic things, trying to move hurriedly, trying to fix it up without thinking about it, without, doing it in a relaxing, comfortable state. Then so we end up making it even worse, a little bit more comes on, a little bit more of this, a little bit. And so we end up with a situation that looks not so good at all. But we have help, and you do have help. We do have help. When we have help, our helper is experienced. Our helper is not surprised. Our helper knows what needs to be done. The Creator is not just, yes, it's his host. There's a host in heaven, we've heard. There's a host that's going to be working and doing things in the background, just like when we try to do something, situation comes. So we don't get from because others come against us and say, we know that our intentions are good. Don't you think the Creator would know that your intentions are good if you know your intentions are good? Yes. Yes. I will answer for you. Yes. God knows your intentions are good. God knows that you are here doing the best that you can work things out, doing the best that you can to make good situations. Yes, there's something going around in your environment where others may say bad things about you and surely you may have made some mistakes and stuff. But once you own up to those mistakes, and that's what we have to do, even me, I'm speaking, but teachers teach themselves, preachers preach to themselves, all of that, I'm preaching, but I'm preaching to me. This is a story directly for me can benefit. So, if you found yourself in a horrible, bad situation, there is help. Look at your situation. Don't make those crazy moves, like the way we do sometimes. And when we're like, oh, gotta hurry up and do this. And so, because we don't give the Most High the opportunity, we don't give God the chance to straighten that stuff out when we do that. And yes, you have power in yourself because God has authority. So you can use your strength too to get things done. You can use your power, but always know that you are getting it from the main electrical source, that there's a big higher electrical source, electrical strength that you're pulling and drawing on, and then so we admit it and say, oh yeah, I kind of messed this up pretty, but I'm depending on you, Lord, to pull me through. I know you will, and I know you can. And so now you're putting your faith in it. And then those things that seem so bad, they're not so bad anymore because now you see that there is a help and you see that you can get out of those things, and that the more you wiggle and wobble and do the wrong things, the worse it becomes. But when you do it in an orderly and with faith and with confession that I'm fix this. I can fix this. You can fix this. You can fix it. It doesn't have to be as bad as it seems. It just get better because when your nerves are up and you don't relax yourself, then that's what makes it get worse because you got to relax. And I know it's hard to say relax when you're in a bad situation because, like the thing I mentioned to you about like when people are, and they let me once when I was about 15 years old, I was with a couple of my friends, and they knew that this lake was a deep lake. They knew that it was over 30 feet deep or whatever. I didn't. I thought it was a little old pond. You jump in and walking. Oh God, I was so scared once I got in there. But someone had already warned me, don't fight it. Don't fight it. Because the harder you fight and pull and push and stuff, the worse it gets. So every time I come, be like, oh no, I don't know what to do. Get back under the water, get quiet, come back. Elmo and Jamie were there. These two were the ones that were I was with, and so Elmer gets under me, and he's an excellent swimmer. Oh my goodness, I don't know why he wasn't on some major team or whatever, but. So Elmer toward Jamie at the bank. So Jamie hands him a limb as it goes. I was gonna kill him just about because I didn't know not to fight the person too. So you have to know not to fight everything around you when you're trying to get yourself back in a stable situation. You don't fight the water. You don't fight the one who's trying to help you. You don't fight. You just don't fight, because fighting, not that, this is a situation, a flesh type thing, so you don't fight. The fighting doesn't help at all. It doesn't help like the way that you think it will, and especially in this situation when I'm telling you and I'm sharing with you. So Elma was able to still stay alive, and then still kind of push me closer toward the bank, because I was like in the middle of the big. The thing was probably 30 feet wide, as well as 30. It was a big hole. It was call ourselves swimming in. That was my first time they had invited me to go with them, We were children. We all the same age, about 15 years old, 14 or 15. And so we children do things like that. But anyways, so with me not fighting the water, that was how he'd even be able to help. Because if I had been fighting the water, it would have been even worse. But water, someone that way before that accident had happened, and he pushes me toward the bank, and and so Jamie gives me the stick, holds out the stick for me, not for him. I was thinking for him, but it was for me. And so I pulled the stick, and so he pulls me on the end. So they both saved my life. And Jamie is Alma's no longer with us. Jamie has been gone some time, but my prayers and hopes days of them, and they don't know whom I'm talking about. But anyways, I wanted to end this with, it doesn't matter how chaotic your situation is. The Creator is versed in all things. The Creator is excellent with all things, and He's not going to shake you and rattle you, push you and make you worse than what you are. He's here to help a host of them, and you'll find them along the way. All you have to do is faith and believe in yourself and confidence, as we used to sing when we were in grade school. Have faith, hope, and charity. That's the way you live successfully. How do I know? The Bible tells me so. So with that, I want to say I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day in the Lord. And be strong, be courageous. But we don't do all crazy moves to try to make the situation better. Make it worse when we start doing a lot of crazy things, okay? So, have a great, great day. And I'll see you the next time. Thank you for watching and joining me this time. Bye-bye.